Hello friends, RevDMQ here. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you're having a good day today. So, Battlefield 2018 is upon us shortly. It's got to be, right? The hype is getting real. The excitement continues to grow. What does DICE have up their sleeve? We don't know, because DICE has been so tight-lipped. And it seems to me that the longer DICE stays quiet, the more the intensity grows, the more the hype grows. So I have no clue what it's going to be. I'm excited to see it. But today I wanted to talk about the game modes that should appear in Battlefield 2018. Now, I've got 5 that I want to talk about, and I think that DICE should only include about 5, maybe 6 game modes in Battlefield 2018, because I think when you have too many of the smaller game modes, they don't populate well and they don't last long in the life of the franchise or in the life of the game. So I think focus on your bread and butter. Do 5, 4, 6 game modes, but do them right, do them well, and you will see populated servers galore. So here are my top 5 game modes for Battlefield 2018. Number 1, and this should be obvious, Conquest. Let's get out there and say it right now. Battlefield would not be Battlefield without Conquest. We've got to see it. But I want a return to classic Conquest. Now, I started playing Battlefield when I was 14 years old in 2002 with Battlefield 1942. Classic Conquest has been what I have known for 15 years until Battlefield 1, when they changed it up. And the changes they made were increasing tickets rather than decreasing tickets. And they made it so that you did not have to have a majority of the flags in order to gain momentum against your enemy. I would like to see a return to the Classic Conquest where you bleed tickets instead of increase a number, because to me, the bleeding tickets indicates that you are depleting your enemy's reinforcements. And so you're working to decrease your enemy's resources. And so you work to 0 rather than work up to 1,000 or whatever. And I think we need to see a return to Classic Conquest in terms of how you score, because it adds an element to the Conquest game that I've missed. The element being a lot more strategy and a lot more focus on the objectives. If you don't deplete the enemy's resources, if you're not bleeding enemy tickets without holding a majority of the flags, there's less incentive to defend the flags that you have, and you're more inclined to have a ring around the rosy game. So I want to see a return to the Classic Conquest, which is all strategy, all team play, and where you have to defend the flags that you've got. So bring back Classic Conquest, but of course, Conquest has to be in the game. Number 2. I'd like to see, well, this was a tough one for me, actually. I wrestled between 2. I'd like to see Rush. I know, that might be a weird one, but I wrestled between Frontlines and Rush, and I know Frontlines is all the rave right now in Battlefield 1. People love it. I love it. It's a lot of fun. But the reason Rush won out for me was, 1, because nostalgia. I mean, yeah, I'll be honest. I just loved Rush and Bad Company 2. But the other reason that I want to see Rush is because both Frontlines and Rush are linear game modes, but Rush has multiple objectives in a linear game mode, where Frontlines only has that one objective, and both teams are fighting over the one objective concurrently, and it can become a bit congested in Frontlines. And I want to see something that's more strategic, and Rush has 2 objectives at least a good portion of the time until you eliminate one of them. And so I think it's a better linear game mode with more objective options. Frontlines can bottleneck, and I think Rush, it requires more team play and more strategy. I mean, it's not Conquest in terms of strategic gameplay, but I just think Rush is a bit more dynamic when it's done right. And so I think we need to see probably some 40-man Rush servers, get a bit more populated Rush servers, and get some maps that were built and dedicated for Rush. And I know DICE can do that because look what they've done with Incursions. They've taken the maps that they built and they retooled them. They redesigned them for Incursions. So I want to see Rush done well, done properly, done gloriously. It's a great game mode that I would love to see continue to find its way there. The number 3 option for game modes in Battlefield 2018 is Operations. Operations is this massive scale Conquest Rush style game. It allows for ridiculously scaled matches with high scores and kill counts. If you have a lot of time on your hands, you want to jump into a game of Operations. You go from one map to another, and it feels like you're a part of this great campaign. You feel like you're a part of something huge, and you can rack up those massive point games. But it also is a good game mode to help you complete progression objectives, like get 100 heals, or get 100 resupplies, or get a certain number of revives, that kind of stuff. If you need a lot of objectives in one game, then jump at operations, and you can get those done and have a whole lot of fun in the meantime. And I like that Battlefield introduced in Battlefield 1 this grand, huge, massive game mode. Conquest and Rush tend to be about a 20-25 minute game, which is great. You can knock a couple of those out and have a whole lot of fun. But I like the massive, you're playing for a long time with your friends, and you're staying in the same map, the same server. I think Operations was a great addition, and I would love to see it roll over into Battlefield 2018. The fourth game mode that I would like to see in Battlefield 2018, and this is where things get a little bit different. I want to see Gunmaster. Do you guys remember Gunmaster from Battlefield 3? It was so much fun. You start off with this little pistol and you work your way up, you progress through these weapons, and I had so much fun playing Gunmaster with my friends because you would get caught in these ridiculous situations and you'd have to use a weapon that you hated or weren't familiar with. Winning a round of Gunmaster was so satisfying. There was only one winner. And so when you won Gunmaster, it was incredibly satisfying because you had progressed through all these different kinds of weapons. So I liked what Gunmaster brought in Battlefield 3. I like the goofiness of it, I like the silliness of it, and so I want to see Gunmaster find its way into Battlefield 2018 again. And the last one is another silly game mode that unfortunately I couldn't find any gameplay on, but it's Scavenger from Battlefield 3. Do you guys remember what Scavenger was? Scavenger was basically conquest domination, where you have to find primary weapons. You start out with a pistol and a knife, and then you have to pick up primary weapons along the map, and those primary weapons only had a limited amount of ammo. And so you could only use the gun for 2 full magazines before you had to find another gun on the map. So it was fast-paced, it was domination, objective-based, you could cap the flags incredibly fast, but it was hilarious if you ran out of ammo or you didn't have a gun, having those only in Battlefield moments. So I want to see Scavenger make its way back. I think Battlefield does the serious strategic game modes really well, and I'd like to see Battlefield introduce some of these quicker, fast-paced, goofy, sillier game modes back into the game like we saw in Battlefield 3. So friends, these are the top 5 game modes that I want to see in Battlefield 2018. What do you think? Are there game modes that you think need to be included that I've missed? Like this video if you agree. Give it a thumbs down if you don't agree. Subscribe to the channel because I'm really enjoying making these videos. And if you like what I'm producing, subscribe to the channel and maybe consider hitting that notification button just so you know when something new pops up. Well, friends, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.